How goes it all? Welcome back to Patterson Up Properties. I wanted to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to you all. Today's article I'll be talking about today's housing market can basically it's starting to equal less optimism for a lot of investors and even some homeowners, potential new homeowners all at the same time. Because at the end of the day, today's real estate market is everyone, and I mean everyone, going crazy with prices going up, no end in sight. Heading into 2021, and I'm excited about it. One can clearly see that for a lot of Americans, the optimistic mindset is starting to dwindle just a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit. Because as of November 2020, the real estate market's pessimism is growing at a very big yet rapid rate. Look at this Yahoo article that I actually read this morning. The other day, one of the biggest reasons why most Americans are not really optimistic about the housing market is because of the job market that is basically being displayed in today's world. And I can definitely agree on that one because, one thing is for sure and still clear is there's still millions upon millions of people who are still out of work, unemployed, or they're on a part-time employment basis, and the US economy hasn't fully opened, in most states and isn't scheduled to fully open anytime soon. Um, you know, and the other thing to take into consideration is that, a statement by Lawrence Young, who is actually the chief economist at the National Association of Realtors. Mr. Young stated, and I quote, the housing market is still hot. And that's a good, obviously that's a good sign, but we may be starting to see rising home prices hurting affordability for homeowners, current homeowners and potential homeowners and whatnot, and investors at the same time. Because as most real estate investors are not going to buy a house over price, it just doesn't make sense unless they just got money to burn like that. And then the deal has to be that good to where it's actually going to cash flow. It's like even myself, hey, I'm looking at other areas around the areas that I usually invest in within Pennsylvania and whatnot, because it's like, okay, because of the lack of inventory, I'm like, well, maybe it's time for me to look to other greener pastures. You know what I mean? With that being said, if one can't afford to live somewhere at a growing number, eventually it leaves homes sitting on the market for a long, long time, and nobody wants to see that. Not the homeowners, not the investors, definitely not real estate wholesalers like myself, definitely not real estate agents, you know what I mean, definitely not closing companies, because they're not making the money. These things can't happen. That hasn't happened yet, but it can happen. I'm just saying, there's the big possibility if affordability seems to lag. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to call it like I see it, because there's just no end in sight for a lot of homes that are sitting on the market, and the prices just keep going up. Because nothing to look outside, when you look at households income rates, that's another thing people don't take into consideration. As far as incomes, what people are making, what's the potential for people to make, the future of specific mortgage rates, even though the prediction is mortgage rates are going to remain fairly low within the next 2 or 3 years. That is the prediction by certain economists, but we will see what happens, obviously. Because uncertainty for a lot of consumers, no matter what the situation, will make them want to stand still. I mean, because a lot of people are being very smart and trying to save as much money as possible. Because I mean, there's a lot of things right now that are just overpriced. Not only just houses, but food is overpriced. No matter what state you live in, I don't care how you look at it. So a lot of people are doing their best, not only to get a bang for their buck, but a lot of the smart people are doing their darndest to ensure that they save their money wisely and invest their money wisely, and not just go crazy, spending the money on nonsense. Even for real estate investors, it makes us, a little shaky depending on the circumstances, of the housing market that an investor is actually trying to invest in. We all know the main reason for all of this is because of the pandemic. According to the article, 57% of respondents said it was a good time to buy a home, and 35% said it was a very bad time to buy a home. Now, it was at 60% of what people said was a good time to buy a house. So it's only gone down, 3%. We see that mortgage rates are at a historic lows and housing prices are at historic highs, like I said earlier. One thing that we should know, and we have to obviously take into consideration, is that the average sales price of a house in the United States of America, not just in a particular area, but the United States of America, is at $348,310. Okay. This is from a national perspective. And it's only down from about $2,000 since August 2020. We're in December right now, 6 days, 7 days away from the new year. So now the article stated that when it comes to job security or even confidence, it's basically at 76% compared to October when it comes to 96%. Now, to be honest with you, even before the pandemic, what is really job security at the end of the day? You know, I believe that's an open question and it's open to interpretation. That's just my personal opinion on that one. Okay. What is truly job security? Because even during the financial meltdown 2007-8 timeframe, we saw that job security was kind of a thing of the past. And I think that's why you had an explosion of more entrepreneurs come out from that time frame till now, because they're like, people got the mindset of, I have to have backup plans, not just a backup plan, but backup plans when it comes to how I obtain income, so that I create my own sense of job security. In a sense, even if I'm working for someone, I create my own sense of job security by always remaining on the hunt for skill sets and other jobs, or potential business opportunities. That's what I consider to be job security. When one, this is just my personal opinion going off the subject, when one is constantly looking for other ways to obtain income from other various different sources. That's one aspect of it. And two, one is enhancing their skills that they have now and trying to obtain new skill sets in the future so that they can remain competitive in any specific job market or any business market, period. Okay. But one thing with sincerity I can say is no job security equals less optimism of one wanting to have the responsibility of owning a home, because owning a house is a responsibility. Investing in a house is a responsibility, no matter what the situation is. That's why you have a lot of people that don't mind being generational renters, and I don't fault them for that. However, they lessen the chances of them getting access to additional capital and whatnot. But hey, you're making landlords like myself happy. So hey, I'll leave it at that. Because at the end of the day, owning, investing a home is a major responsibility than renting a place, because when you're renting a place, you call somebody to fix a problem instead of the expense being on you. One last thing to take into consideration is that 59% of people stated that it was a good time to sell their homes and has remained unchanged since April 2020. And I can understand that, because a lot of people who have actually sold their homes right now have made out like bandits and whatnot. And it's been a great, beautiful thing, because now, because you had so many buyers that are taking advantage of the low interest rates. Then two, because of the lack of inventory, one was able to sell their house at a much higher rate than they would if before the pandemic and whatnot. So, that's capitalism, right? Winners and losers. That's how the game is played, right? But hey, one thing is optimism has gone down from 73% to now it's at 57%. The housing market pandemic boom has went down 1.2%, according to the article. And if the next 2 years, meaning 2021 and 2022, 2021 and 2022, not 2000, anyways, displays the pandemic being behind us and the job market within the United States starts growing with the economy being open fully, because we all would like to see the economy open fully again, and the prices of homes become more reasonable, then maybe, just maybe, we will see more optimism within the real estate market as far as investors and people wanting to buy a house at at a reasonable price. Okay, so with that being said, it's going to be an interesting new year, and definitely looking forward to it. Definitely will. It's funny, I'm only going to be making one more video for Patterson L Properties in 2020. So it's been an amazing year. It's been an interesting year, and with the goals and aspects that I have for myself and those around me, and we have all are, collaborating with one another. I am much more excited about 2021, even though there seems to be a lot more uncertainty than I am going into 2020. So with that being said, do the great 3 free things: like, share, and subscribe. Remember, Patterson L Properties is all about buying delinquent tax properties and helping people that have distressed properties, no matter whether they may reside and whatnot, so that they can get rid of those properties and help investors find the right distressed properties that they're looking for, so they can do their fix and flips or they're buying holds and whatnot. That is the service of Patterson L Properties. We're in the wholesaling business game, no matter if it's from a delinquent tax standpoint or when we're dealing with motivated sellers, distressed property owners, whatever the case may be, or just somebody that inherited a property and they're like, hey, we don't want it, we just want to make a profit off of it. You can come contact us. Definitely email, reach out, all that good stuff, and it's always greatly appreciated. We will respond to you accordingly. All right, have a great day. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Enjoy yourself with your family and your loved ones, because that's truly what it's all about. Forget the materialistic nonsense. It's all about being with the people that matter in your life. All right. So take care and have a great day. And as always, make money move.